Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with my daily Palantir video, and I got a good one for you today because an article just came out on Seeking Alpha, and I have to say it's probably the best written article with very good data and facts on Palantir, and honestly, I think it's made me a believer. So like we always do, let's talk about the last day of trading on Palantir. Let's do some updated technical analysis. I'm going to show you this article and the key points that I learned and just the key data figures that they present. And then as we always do, we will end the video looking at the option flow data to see what the big money investors did on Palantir on December 31st to close out the year 2020. So let's get right into it. Looking at the Robinhood graph here, you can see Palantir did not have a great end of 2020, down almost 6.2% on the day, did rally back ever so slightly after hours, up 0.7%. But Palantir has kind of been getting beaten down lately. On the week, it's down over 16%, almost 17%. On the month, though, also down over 8%. So Palantir has really sold off the month of December, but maybe now is the time to buy the dip. Maybe it's gone on sale. Stay tuned and find out. So in the past 3 months, though, if you're a long-time shareholder of Palantir, you're still looking pretty good, up almost 145%. Let me show you this Seeking Alpha article. So here's the article from Seeking Alpha. It's titled, "Our Top Technology Pick for the 2020s is Revolutionizing How Data is Analyzed." I mean, right off the bat, that is a very bold statement. They're basically saying that Palantir is their top tech stock for the coming decade, basically. So right off the bat, they're saying Palantir IPO'd fairly recently, which we know, has had strong performance, well, not quite so in the month of December, since its public offering. The company, they say, fills a massive gap in the segment that most companies need, and not only that, but Palantir has been able to grow as a result. So they're saying that Palantir's rapid growth justifies its valuation, with the company having long-term shareholder reward potential. So they're basically saying, get in Palantir now, hold it for the long haul, and you're going to be rewarded. So let's get into the article because they have some good data. So what they're saying right now, the company has grown to a valuation of more than $40 billion since its IPO. And what they're saying is, here's their business model. I thought this slide was kind of funny because what they're saying is they're describing what the company does. And what they do is they offer customers to do more with their data. They say they analyze big data, which is a very big and unsolved problem for many companies. Then they extract the valuable data, and what they do is summarized in this slide. So it's kind of funny. Basically, you have a bunch of random dots. They draw lines between them to connect them, and then boom, all of a sudden, they're all neatly arranged in rows and columns for you. Obviously, I'm just joking. This is overly simplified, but it sounds like they basically take a whole bunch of scattered data points and then they organize them so that you can make sense of them. And they do this for companies. So this article says, which we already know, if you scroll down, it's partnered with the United States Justice Department. It's partnered with the military. It's even partnered with the National Health Service in the United Kingdom. So they have business partners, or customers, I should say, all over the world and in different sectors. We scroll down, they kind of break down their business model in 3 phases. So they're saying that initially they have the acquire phase, then they go into the expand phase, and then the scale phase. And that's kind of how they help their customers or the companies they work with, both for themselves and for the company. One of the nice things, or one of the interesting facts I read in this article, it says that going into the scale phase, the company earned $452 million of revenue at a 69% margin. And this shows the company's ability to continue growing its revenue and its margin. And it's proven that it can grow its business, which shows its strength. Here's kind of, I would have to say, the best data point that I read in this article. And it says that Palantir has managed to grow its average revenue per customer by 38% from the first 3 quarters of 2019 to the first 3 quarters of 2020, or from 4.2 to $5.8 million. But that's what Palantir has done for itself. Look what it's done for its customers. For the customers, it has increased their average revenue of its top 20 customers by 36%. So not only are they crushing it for themselves, but they're crushing it for their customers. And so if they can go to new companies and say, hey, look, this guy over here, we increased their revenue by 36%. We can do the same for you. Of course, they're going to keep getting more and more business. So that was some great information that I read right now. And then if we scroll down, here's kind of the summary of the article where it's talking about the possibilities in the 2020s or in this decade. And right now, it says the company has $1.8 billion in cash and cash equivalents. So that's one of the things that you want to see in a company, because if they don't have a lot of cash on hand, or they have a lot of debt or more debt than you have cash, then those are companies that in a downturn or in a recession are going to be at risk of going bankrupt. If Palantir has this much cash on hand, well, then they should be able to weather a storm if we do have a market sell-off, or let's say a market recession, or even a depression. But there are risks, and it says the risk is Palantir's lack of continued growth. So right now, the company is at a 35 PS ratio, and it's priced for significant long-term growth. If that doesn't happen, then obviously the share price would not really reflect that. So if you want to read this article, just go to Seeking Alpha. It came out today on January 3rd. Very good article, very informative. But I will say, I think I'm a believer now. It has convinced me that Palantir may be one of these long-term buy and hold stocks that maybe at 10 years from now is going to be worth multiples of what it's worth now. Let me know in the comments below if you have shares or options, and do you agree with this article? Let's go to TradingView and do some updated technical analysis. Here's the TradingView graph on Palantir. If you're new to the channel, I use daily candles. I have volume bars on the bottom, the RSI. The orange line here is the 21-day moving average. The pink line is the 50-day moving average. And that's about it. I'll draw some Fibonacci levels in the background. I like to keep it relatively simple. But you can see from my prior videos, my prediction right now is that we'll have a continued sell-off, maybe to this area of support around $21, which also lines up with the 50% Fibonacci level. And then I think we might bounce off that, because by the time, I would say, if or when we get to this support level, the 50-day moving average will also probably be around that area as well. So it's going to act as an even stronger area of support. So that's my prediction. We might have a little bit of a continued sell-off maybe the next day or two, and then we'll bounce off it and then continue green. We've had a string of red days in a row on Palantir. Like I showed you earlier, Palantir has not had a great month of December. Let's see what January of 2021 brings. But right now, we are in a downward trend. So I need to see some data where we're going to buck that trend and now start on a bullish upward trend. And I always like to see one day of confirmation after we kind of see a break in this downward trend. So that's what we're keeping an eye out for. Let's close the video out by looking at the option flow data to see what the big money investors did with Palantir on the last trading day. So here's the Trade UI platform that I use for my option flow data. You can see we're looking at Palantir stock, and we had 59 sweep orders that came in on the last trading day, but it was kind of an even split. You can see there's 35 call options that came through and 24 put options that were bought. So kind of a 50-50 split. We'll have to see what some of the big options did. So here's one for $943,000. That was a 30-strike call option that was bought. The green boxes represent the call options. The red boxes represent the put options that were bought. You can see the strike price here in this column and the expiration date. So this was a 30-strike call for a February 19th expiration. So this was one of the larger sweep orders that came in. But as you can see right now, it's a rather bullish bet on Palantir in the coming about month and a half. Right now, Palantir is trading for 23, 24 bucks. So somebody or some institution is betting pretty big that Palantir is going to have a strong January and maybe even beginning of February. So for all the Palantir bulls out there, this is good news for you. Let's see if there's any other big money orders that we can see that came in towards the end of the day. Here's one for $330,000. This is a 20-strike call. So this was an in-the-money call. So this one was probably a hedge against another position they have. Here's another couple of options for $350,000. One was actually a put for the 23. So it was basically an at-the-money put option. Here's another 30-strike for $350,000, again for February 19th. So we have, at least at a quick look, over $1 million in call options on Palantir that were bought for the 30 strike for February 19th. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows something. Of course, none of this is financial advice. These are just my opinions. I'm just presenting the data and the facts as I come across them. We'll have to see what Palantir does. But let me know, if you were not a believer in Palantir, did that Seeking Alpha article change your mind? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you join our Discord server if you're not in there already. I have opened up some free text and voice channels. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Reddit. The links are in the video description below. I hope we have a green start to 2021. And as always, happy trading.